Hi everybody, this is Derek with Lare Garden Center, and behind the camera is Melissa.
Hey guys!
And today I'm going to show you how to make a gnome. And I'm going to start by telling you what's in the kit. And what I mean by kit is these are class kits that we offer. So let me show you what's in each one. The first is what we got is a tomato cage. And by the way, as we're going along, if I miss something, Melissa's going to chime in. So we've got tomato cage here. We have 2 pieces of plastic in there, gloves. This is floral wire.
Okay.
There's 2 hats here. Your kit's gonna come with 1, but I just wanted to show you how they could range. So might be red, might have some checkered on it, it will range. And really, the gloves could range too. So there's a few things that could range in the colors. I'm gonna use this color.
Okay, cool.
So put that one aside. Those are the gloves that Melissa already showed, and then also a cotton ball. And all this will make sense as we go along. And then for greens, you're gonna have, this is Port Orford cedar, and then underneath we have, well, let me get all the Port Orford cedar off so you can actually see. Here's some noble fir. And every kit will be a little bit different, just so you know. This is just what happens to be in this one. So I'm going to show you how to do this in different stages, and let me start by showing you how to get the framework done. Oh, extra tools too. You might find pruners handy at home if you can have those handy, and wire cutters for cutting the wire.
If they don't have pruners, kitchen shears, right? Work pretty okay?
Yeah, they work.
Heavy-duty kitchen shears?
Yeah, so some of the branches are a little corkier, but you should be able to get most anything with a kitchen shears.
Okay.
So the first thing we do is we take the floral wire and we're going to cut, I'm going to say probably maybe 7 inches of it off. And we're going to bend the bottom of the tomato cage up like this to touch. And we're going to take the wire, she's zooming in because this is one of the more tedier parts of the class. Just kind of wrapping the wire like this and around itself. And then wrap it around several times. I mean like a dozen or more times. And do it pretty tightly so it doesn't come undone. Just keep going around. And then when you get to the end like that, you will just tie it to itself to make sure it stays, and that will keep the top together. And as a tip, when you're starting to make the project from here for the rest of the time, grab from here, try to avoid grabbing from here because sometimes it kind of comes undone. So always try to grab from the middle if you can. This is the part where you're going to want to put those gloves on because the pine branches are pretty sappy and it will get all over your hands, and it kind of is really hard to get off. It doesn't even come off with soap. It does, but it takes quite a few tries. So I'm going to put gloves on, and I like to start with one type of green, and I'm actually going to start with noble fir. I always find it's easier to put a base on there and then start to mix in the other greens. So I'm going to flip these over.
So the noble fir is kind of this
Christmas tree. It looks like a classical Christmas tree branch.
Okay.
I think I'm going to start with, this one looks nice. So take a branch and kind of eye up where it's going to go. Like right here, let me move this out of the way so you can see a little bit better. I'll have Melissa hand me the rest as I need the greens. You can kind of see that it's touching the ground a little bit more than what I'd like to see. You can kind of make them different ways, but ideally, I feel like that's a little bit better. Maybe here, just so I get most of it. The idea is to cover the frame. So I'm going to take the pruners. I kind of measured with my hand where it's going to be cut. It's going to be here, so I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to save this branch and all the little cuttings that come off of it for later. Let's see if that matches up better. Yeah, I think that's good. So as far as where you place these on here, the best is to make it to where it's only a little bit above, not too far. Like if it's up like that, it's going to be really hard to get the hat on, or it's going to cover up the bottom of the hat because the hat's going to come down somewhere around here. I'll show you where it goes when we get to that stage. So put that down. I'm going to grab a decent amount of wire, about the same amount that we used for the top. Find my wire cutters. There we go. And then just put that on like that. And it's another one of those tedious processes because we just take the wire just like we did for the top and wrap it around. It helps to go in a crisscrossing motion too. It will hold it on even better. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. And then also try to hold it when you first put the wraps on there, because they will start to twirl around on you if you don't really try to hold it down. And when you get to the end, I always like to wrap it around because these ends can get kind of pokey. So I always just try to wrap it around just to keep it a little bit safer.
Try to get it to zoom in there and show that. Okay.
So that's how we attach one branch. I'm going to pull up the next stage for you so you can see how they each go. That way you won't have to watch me put branch by branch on. Melissa's handing it to me. So this one has like 4 branches on it. And I'm going to wire another one on there just so you can see how the process goes. But the goal is, will you hand me one, Noble Fur, please? Thank you. Is to go all the way around. So we'll turn it as you put each one on. This one I'm going to aim for here because you're trying to really cover up the metal frame. It needs to be cut just a little bit though, but not too much. I just want to make sure that you see that part of the branch, so I'm going to show how to do that again. It's okay if it hangs off a little bit, but I may just do just a bit more just to make sure. Make sure not to lose your wire. It's green and it matches with the greenery. So there's the wire, attaching it to, just like I did the rest. As you can see for this class, a lot of the processes are the same. You're just doing different things. And then that one is on. So I just wanted to show you how to add a couple different textures. So I would finish putting Noble Fur on is what I normally do. So I'd put one type of greenery on there, and then I start to add more. So we're going to pretend that I finished that completely, and I do have a finished one to show you too. But I wanted to put some Noble Fur in there just to show you how to mix it up and cover up some of the bare spots. Melissa is finding me a nice branch. So whenever you have a bare spot like this, here's how you fix that. And it's okay, you want it to be a little bit loose, so it's okay to put it on there looser. You'll take, this is the Port Orford cedar, by the way, if I didn't already say that. And you just kind of use it to fill up there. And this does 2 things. It'll fill up the bottom. It will also give it a different texture. Wiring it is the same as the others. Although the Port Orford cedar, the stems are a little bit skinnier. So you might not need as much wire. I may have even clipped too much. But I'll show you what to do when you do that. So looking okay from your side?
It's looking great.
Okay, so I had a little extra, so I'm just gonna cut. You can see it stays. It's not like string where it would fall off once I cut that. But you still want to wire it to itself just so it doesn't unravel. That's kind of how you do it. I'm just gonna kind of demonstrate one more, but I won't wire it on there. I'll just show you. You'll keep, if there's like a bare spot, here's a, I don't know if you can see that good.
You can see that bare spot.
Yeah. So you could, sometimes you can wire them on to get them to close a little bit more, but.
And when you say that, you would be taking these 2 and wiring them together, is that right?
More like, see how there's a part of the frame here?
Yeah.
So probably maybe,
Wire.
yeah, like that. Sometimes you gotta, you could wire it to another branch, but if I just wire this one to this branch, it's still gonna look like this.
Funny.
So the frame is better, but if that doesn't work or it doesn't look right, you could take a branch and I'll kind of pull things apart a bit and go from the inside and bring it back up to the top. And you can see that that covers it.
Yeah,
and
it starts to fill it in more.
Yes, the process is basically doing that over and over and over again. I don't even know how many branches, but it's probably say more than a dozen branches by the time you get done here.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward it again just so I can show you how to do the finishing touches. You can see that there's a partial. So I'm going to put that down. I'll show you a finished one, or nearly finished. See how that changes?
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
That has all the greens around it, and that will be the stage. It'll take you a good bit to get all these on, but once you're to this stage, I'll show you what to do next. So I'm going to start with the hat, and as I'm doing that, one moment, I'm going to show you when you're looking for a part to be the face, because there's going to be a face on here, you kind of want to eye that up and see which is going to be the best part of it. And I usually go for a flatter area. I'm going to turn it around because I can see a side that's going to work. There we go. I'm going to use this part as the face. So I'll come around to your side so I can get the hat on. So here's the hat, and we're just going to, you'll see why we tied it like a peak like that. Always try to put the seam toward the edges. So if this is the face, which is what I'm going for, I'm going to put the seams to either side. Just up and over. Let's see. I gotta work it around these branches, so just give me a minute to.
It's looking good.
It is, it's starting to come together. Sometimes you gotta go over those ends, but it ultimately,
Oh, it's perfect.
yes, it does.
You can see the gnome coming together.
I like to leave a little bit of the hat forward so you can work this as a fold just because it looks, I don't know what, it looks more whimsical that way. And it might take a while to stay down, but eventually it will. It's actually not doing too bad. So let me show you how to do, I'm gonna tuck this, I'm gonna cut that string off, but I'll go back there and get the other supplies I need as well. We've got the gloves. So I'm gonna clip that one lone string off first. And there we go, got the scissors. So we've got the mittens. Just gonna take some plastic and ball it up and put inside, just like this. Try to do it in an oblong shape so it fills out the glove nicely. My other piece of plastic, gonna do the same thing with that one. See how that fills it out nice? So the next part is getting the wire again. And it just seems like it's always the same process over and over again, because it kind of is. So take a piece of wire. This one is a little bit different, so I'll have something different to talk about. Eye up where you want the glove to be, and usually I put the thumb inward. So take the wire and poke it through the glove. Right now it's just like a wire through, and I always bend it like this. I do the back because then you can't see the wire in the front of the glove. Eye up a spot that looks like it will be good for a hand. What do you think here? A little lower, higher? I'm gonna try there. So what you do is you find a nice sturdy branch in there, and you take the wire from both sides of the glove like this, and just twist tie it on. Just like that. Make sure you can't see any of that plastic. Oh, there we go.
Cute.
And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side, and then I'll show you how to attach the nose. Same thing, make sure the thumb's facing inward. Wire through the glove, if I can get it to go through. Wire like that. And I'm going to, this part is a little bit, because it takes a good eye to make sure it matches. Is that even from your view?
Yeah, it looks great.
Okay. So I'm going to wire it to this branch the same way I did the other one. So just twist tie it on. Just want to make sure it's going to look right. And turn it like that. There we go. We got some hands now.
Super cute.
And the last part is the nose. That's what this cotton ball is right here. If you wonder what that for was in your kit, that's what it's for.
Got it.
Take the wire, cut that, and this one's a little bit different because you have to kind of poke the wire carefully through the center of the ball. It's starting to go through. There we go. And bend it just like we did with the gloves, so it kind of looks like this on the top of a wire. So the last part is taking the nose, and I like to make it a little bit lower than the edge of the hat. One second, I just gotta work. Just like you did with the gloves, wiring it on around there. I was lucky enough that I had a nice branch for this. You might have a smaller branch to work with, but any branch you can get it to go on will work. Give me a second to work this around. It's already starting to. I'm just kind of, you can't see what I'm doing with my hands, but I'm just kind of twist tying it around. And now let's see if it stays. I'm gonna try to get it a little bit higher too. Oh, good, let's tuck that wire in so you can't see it. There we go though, it's done. So that is how you make a gnome. So what I would do from this stage is, if we're having a warm winter period, I would make sure that it's in shade if you can, and you can even just kind of run a little bit of water over it with a mister. That will help keep it fresh longer. Good cold, cloudy days and cold days are its friend, and warm, windy days are kind of more of its enemy. So if you can put it in the shade for that day, that would help. Otherwise, just keep it misted and it will last through the holiday season.
Tell people how they can find our kits.
Sure, you can find our kits online. It's pretty much the main place to find them, isn't it? Or are they also? Okay, so just go to our website and look at it. It'll have all the kits that we offer, and you can even purchase right there too.
What's our website?
Our website is, you can look up Ted Lare Garden Center if you Google it.
TedsGardens.com, right?
TedsGardens.com. Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay.
Nobody says www
No.
anymore, so, but that's how you find it. Just find it. You'll find everything you need there and order it, and we will get it ready for you.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, we're going to wrap up this class then. Thanks for watching. See ya.